Are you ready for a relationship? Or is there some self-care that you need to focus on first? In today's video, we'll be exploring how you can tell if you're truly healthy enough to dive into a relationship, from emotional well-being to personal growth. Let's help you figure out if you're ready to connect with somebody else. Stay tuned. You might be surprised what you discover. You're welcome to another very exciting and insightful episode of Finding Love. I am Grace Renner. Finding Love is a relationship and marriage show that instills the right foundation for marriage with the understanding that marriage is God's idea. Yes, God designed marriage. So if you're ready for marriage or already married and desire to do marriage the way God has created it, this is the show you need to sit and watch. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go right now. To your right, you would see the subscribe button. Just click on it and then you'll be subscribed already. And please kindly support my video by liking and sharing and leaving me a comment. I've been seeing your comments and I am so grateful. Thank you for your support so far. Please do not relent. Keep supporting, keep sharing, keep liking. More people will be able to see this video. YouTube algorithm will show it to more people. The more you like it, the more you comment, the more you share it. Thank you so much. So today we'll be beginning a new series titled Red Flags. Okay, and under this series we'll be touching on how to assess if you're healthy enough for a relationship, how to spot red flags, differences between red flags and deal breakers, what to do about them. Okay, so I'll be right back. You're welcome back. Now, red flags in a relationship are warning signs that something might be wrong, potentially indicating unhealthy or toxic behaviors. Now, while no red flags should be neglected, some should actually be subject of discussions between you and your partner to see if they are willing to work on themselves and ensure that the relationship stays healthy. However, some should be deal breakers if your mind is healthy, your mind is sound, your judgment is sound. It takes a healthy person to identify an unhealthy person. Okay, it takes you being different from somebody to actually notice the difference between you and that person. Yes, sometimes red flags hide in the beginning of the relationship, the talking stage. However, I have also come to realize that if your mind is sound, or you're discerning, or with third party interference, you'd be able to notice, or these red flags will be called to your attention. Now, for today's video, I want to expose your mind, open your mind to see if your mind is sound enough, if you are healthy enough to identify, these red flags. If you're currently in a relationship that is unhealthy, or this video might help you in future, to decipher if a person is unhealthy enough for you, or if the current relationship you are in is not healthy for you. Now, so for my first mission for this series, I'll be helping you ascertain, helping you evaluate yourself to see if you are healthy enough to actually tell if somebody else is healthy or toxic. So that said, today's topic is, am I healthy enough for a relationship? Okay, have you ever asked yourself that question? Am I healthy enough for a relationship? Now, determining if you are healthy enough for a relationship involves just accessing yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. So let's get right into it. Number one, emotional health. Are you secure enough in yourself? Do you feel secure? Do you feel good about yourself? Because a person who is insecure would have ranges of emotional imbalance, from jealousy to insecurity to all of these things. Now, I'm just going to even list out to you some of these things that you might be experiencing if you're not healthy enough, so that you can ascertain for yourself. A person who is emotionally unhealthy will experience low self-esteem, fear of rejection or judgment, overcompensation or people pleasing, perfectionism, difficulty in relationships, avoidance of challenges, chronic self-doubt, emotional instability, impact on your physical health. Definitely, when you're insecure, it impacts your physical health. Okay, seeking external validation, avoiding vulnerability. Now, as I speak, as I list out these things, the person who comes to mind is Saul in the Bible, King Saul. Now, King Saul was so insecure that despite his achievement, despite his, his stature, despite his beauty, he never felt good about himself. Now I'm going to read 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 6. It says, as they were coming home, when David returned from killing the Philistine, the women came out of all the Israelite towns, singing and dancing to meet King Saul with timbrels, songs of joy, and instruments of music. And the women responded as they laughed and frolicked, saying, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very angry, for the saying displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed to David 10,000, but to me they have ascribed only thousands. What more can he have but the kingdom? And Saul jealously eyed David from that day forward. Now go and read about it. You see it in 1st and 2nd Samuel about Saul's insecurity. I'm surprised if David was after, if Goliath, was after Saul's life and David defeated him on Saul's behalf. Wasn't Saul supposed to celebrate David? You see, so it wasn't about David, but Saul made it about David. When people are insecure, it's really not about external things, it's a personal thing. Saul never felt good enough as a king. He never felt, like he was deserving of that position. So the moment he saw David winning, it started to affect him, started to affect his self-esteem. When people started to celebrate David, it started to affect him. You started to see that he was insecure. So it was never really about David. It was a personal thing, that Saul or King Saul had on the inside of him. Now, I want to ask another question. Can you manage your emotions and handle stress in a constructive way? Can you handle stress, rejection without disappointment? Now, why am I asking this? This is a sign of, this will help you to ascertain if you're emotionally healthy or unhealthy. I watched a program called Pop the Balloon or Find Love or something like that. Pop the Balloon and Find Love or something like that. And there was a very smart and beautiful girl that I noticed in the lineup. Okay, she was answering questions very smartly and everything. So it was down to she and another girl. Now the guy popped her balloon and went for the other girl. And guess what? This was the end of the show for this girl. She couldn't recover from the rejection. After the guy, there were several other guys that came to, choose a girl. And she couldn't just snap out of the previous guy that left. Just the fact that it was down to she and another girl, and she was expecting it would be her who got chosen, and it wasn't her. She couldn't snap out of it. Like, she lost everything. Throughout, she was given an attitude, she just wasn't involved anymore in the subsequent, selection process. So how do you handle rejections? How do you handle disappointments? How do you handle your frustrations? This will help you to ascertain if you're healthy emotionally. Now, another way to also ascertain if you're emotionally healthy is this. Are you able to discuss your concerns or your thoughts and feelings openly and honestly? Now, this particular one, I struggled with it. When I was younger, I was so straightforward, so, direct. And I got a couple of feedbacks saying, oh, Grace, you're rude. And because of those feedbacks, trying to work on myself, I went to the other extreme, which was people pleasing. Now, as a people pleaser, I would calculate my questions in my head, like ask myself a million ways that I could ask the questions, go through it in my head before I could ask the questions. Or, before I could speak my truth, I would have to ask myself, go over the questions or go over the conversations in my head. And boy, that was so stressful. I thank God for freedom, I thank God for growth, and I thank God for balance. I thank God that I've been healed from people pleasing. I've come into a place of balance and soundness. So my question for you is, can you convey your thoughts, your feelings honestly and openly? Are you at that place? Because your relationship would need it. And number 2, mental health. I want to ask you some questions again. Are you in a place where you can deal with any past trauma, unresolved issues, or mental health challenges? Another question, do you have healthy coping mechanisms for stress, anxiety, or depression that you feel are effective? Now, why did I say healthy coping mechanism? Healthy coping mechanisms are things like exercise, healthy ways that can help you to cope with your emotions, okay? But unhealthy ones are things that give you temporary relief, but in the long run cause more damage than good. Now, let me highlight some healthy coping mechanisms for you, like mindfulness, okay, being present, okay, or presence of mind, being in the moment, not suppressing or running away from your emotions. Some people run away from their emotions as coping mechanisms, but trust me, that's a very unhealthy way to deal with your emotions. Be present, feel the emotions, okay. Another way is exercise. Exercise helps. It releases endorphins, okay, that helps us to feel good about ourselves. It encourages emotional well-being, mental well-being, physical well-being. Another one is talking to someone. It's important that we have friends that we can talk to. Okay. Now, one wrong thing that people do when they get into relationships is that they dissociate from their friends, from family. Now, it shows that one's mind is still unhealthy. Okay, so when you're in a relationship, it's important that you keep the other sides of your life alive. Okay, keep other relationships running, healthy relationships, particularly keep them running. So friends that you can talk to, a mentor or family or somebody that you can talk to. Okay. Some say journaling works. Okay, that's something I've never really tried, but journaling is another way to cope with your emotions. Okay. Creative outlets like your hobbies. What do you do? Do you dance? Do you draw? What's it that you love to do as a hobby? These things help also to cope with emotional difficulties. Deep breathing and relaxation techniques is also very, very good. If you can master the act of breathing, taking breaths, and relaxing, these are also good ways to help you calm your nerves, okay, and reduce mental stress. Okay. Then I have another question for you. Are you able to think clearly and rationally about your desires and needs in a relationship? This is very important. What do you know your needs? Do you know your desires in a relationship? Do you know what you want from a relationship? Okay. Have you addressed past issues? Past relationships and traumas? Another question. Do you know what your needs are? Do you know what to expect from a partner? Now, this is very, very important. Okay. And then lastly, on mental health, have you gathered or are you currently gathering the requisite knowledge to sustain a healthy relationship? Now, one of the things I didn't joke with as a single girl, and I'm not joking with right now, is knowledge acquisition. Okay, so while you are preparing to go into a healthy relationship, are you equipping yourself mentally? Are you gathering books and reading them? Are you reading books, okay, that can help you to sustain a healthy relationship? And I'm not talking fairy tales or novels or is it booze and booze or whatever they call it. I didn't model that. No, I'm talking about self-help books. I'm talking about personal development books that can come in handy to improve your knowledge on healthy relationships. What to expect in a relationship and how to build healthy relationships. These are books that you should be reading. Okay. And if you want me to suggest books to you, please type it on my comment section. Just say, Grace, kindly suggest some books that I can read, and definitely I'll respond to you with the books that you can read to help you prepare, to build a solid, healthy relationship. Number 3, self-awareness. Now I'll be asking you a couple of questions again. Do you know what you want in a relationship or what you're looking for in a partner? Are you clear on your values, your needs, and your boundaries? Okay. Are you aware of personal habits or patterns that you might be dealing with that can affect or potentially affect a relationship, like jealousy, like insecurities, like people pleasing? For me, it was people pleasing, explaining people's bad behaviors away, not letting people be accountable for their mistreatments, letting people walk over me because I was not confident enough to stand up for what I felt was right or what I felt I needed in the relationship. So, what's your story? Are you aware of these patterns or unhealthy patterns that you might have, that might potentially affect your relationship. Another question for you: can you maintain a healthy balance between your identity and being with somebody else? Having personal reflection, I've come to realize that in the early stage of my marriage, I lost myself. I let marriage define me. Now, you do not want marriage to define you or relationship to define you. You do not want to be lost in the relationship. So these are things that you want to pay attention to. Are you aware? Okay, self-awareness is very important. Self-awareness, the journey of self-awareness will help you heal, will help you be a better version of yourself, to help you connect with the right person. Number 4 thing to access is independence. Do you enjoy being alone? Do you enjoy your own company? Are you content with yourself and with your own company? Solitude is so important. Since I got healed from fear of being alone, trust me, I've been enjoying solitude. You should try it. Trust me, it is so important, because it is not every time you would want to be with your partner. Sometimes you may just want a clear head and just be by yourself. It will help you to grow. It will help your partner not to feel choked. So do you enjoy your company? Do you enjoy solitude? Do you practice solitude? This is very important. Now, another question for you is, are you seeking a relationship because you genuinely want one, not out of loneliness or fear of being alone? This is very, very important. Is a relationship what you need genuinely, or you're just trying to fill a void? Now, let me tell you what will happen if you're just trying to fill a void. That's if you're not genuinely interested in a relationship, but just want to fill a void. Number 1, your heart will not be fully in that relationship, okay? You'll find it hard to connect or commit. Another thing to do to you is you'll be desperate and accept anything or anyone. Okay? You would accept anything. Look at what the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 27, verse 7. It says, to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. Okay? So you will find that you're desperate. Anybody you see, anything, you will take. Anybody you will be with. Okay, another thing to do to you is you won't feel fulfilled. Yeah, because the void will still be there. You won't feel fulfilled. Okay? And lastly, what I noted here is over time, your partner will start to feel used. Now, this is very true. If you're using somebody to fill a void, over time, they'll start to feel used. And this is not something that you want. So you need to answer that question. Is it a relationship that you really want, or you're just trying to fill a void? All right, that'll be all for today. Tomorrow we'll continue from here to highlight ways that you can use to gauge if you're healthy enough for a relationship. Now, let me just say this, because I feel it's important to say this. Nobody is perfect. So the essence of this video is not to determine if you're perfect or deserving of love or being loved. Now, the essence of this video is to help you gauge, to help you become a better version of yourself. If you are a better version of yourself, you will pick rightly. A lot of people have gone into relationships to learn from the experience and did not live to tell the story, while some have come out of the relationship but totally damaged, such that they are no longer healthy enough to even consider going into other relationships, or do not even believe in love anymore. And I do not want that to be your story. That would never be your story. So that is the reason for this, to help us examine ourselves, to help us start our healing journey, to help us to become better versions of ourselves, such that we're able to pick rightly, give our hearts to the right people. All right, I believe that you totally understand me. If you have not subscribed to my channel, trust me, you really want to subscribe, because I'll be dropping a lot of wonderful videos on on Thursdays and on Fridays to help us, do better in relationships, pick right, heal, everything that your relationships need. I'll be serving you through finding love. So you want to subscribe, and please share my video so that more people can see it. It will bless lives. You do not want to be a gatekeeper. Trust me, you don't want that. So share these videos, like them, like my videos, like this video, share this video, like this video, comment, leave me a comment. I want to see your comment. I want to see, I want to know how this video has helped you, if you resonate with this video. I just want to know what this video, how it has impacted you, or what you think about this subject. So please do engage and let's discuss. I'll be in my comment section Definitely. Thank you so much. I'll see you again. And before I let you go, have you registered for Singles Hangout 6? Please hurry now. You'd see all the details in the description corner. Tap the link there and register. It's only 5,000 Nigerian Naira. And we're having this event both physically and virtually, so you do not have to worry about the location. But if you're close to the venue, definitely do show up. But if you're anywhere else around the world, you can join us virtually. You do not have to miss out. So please hurry now and register. And also, we have a charity arm of this ministry. It's called W.H.O.S.E Outreach. And in this month of April, we'll be reaching out to widows, helpless, orphans, sick, and elderly, which W.H.O.S.E stands for. So any form of support that you can render will be highly appreciated, whether it's in kind or in cash. If you have used items that you want to give away that are still in very good condition, or you have excess food items that you do not mind sharing with those who cannot afford them, or you have money that you want to give, no amount is too small. We'll put them together and use to support the people in this category. Thank you so much once again. I remain Grace Renner, and I will see you tomorrow.